Hey everyone! This time we are looking at Arcade Treasures by Bill Kurtz. This book was published in 1994 and covers the history of coin-op, basically games, but also some other amusement devices. It starts off in the late 1800s and runs all the way up into the 90s. I just love seeing all of the kind of creepy things, like the different pictures of stuff, especially from like the 1900s, 1910s, 1920s, and just seeing how coin-op amusement has changed over the years. Looking through some of the stuff, like the pinball machines, the fortune teller machines, like some skee ball stuff, the bowling stuff, it just makes me think of my grandpa, because he was, I can't really call him an antique dealer because he didn't really deal in any of them. He was more like an antique hoarder. And going over to his house, you'd see all these creepy things from like the 40s and 50s that, you know, probably were pretty cool back then, but looking at them now, you're like, wow, this feels like I'm in a horror film. Or something like that. Like you'd go into, there's this one weird room in their house, you'd go into it, and there'd just be like 70 porcelain dolls just staring at you as soon as you walked in the room. That's kind of the feeling that I got while I was flipping through this and just looking at all the different amusement devices from like the before like 1950, that sort of thing. So each chapter kind of goes over its own decade, and it's pretty cool to see all that. It's really organized in a nice way. You get to see, if not a picture of the actual machine, you will get to see like the promo flyer or something like that. Because some of this stuff just doesn't exist anymore. Not so much like the actual things that they represent, but that specific machine might not exist anymore. So all you really have is like the promotional flyer or something like that. It could also be that Bill just couldn't find the actual machine and all he had was these like promo flyers, that sort of thing. I would have to say like most of this book is pinball machines, especially until you get into really like the 70s, which makes a lot of sense. You didn't have a lot of video games, or at least the video arcade games prior to that. You have a few electromechanical games which could become what we would think of as like an arcade game, but they weren't really there yet. So really with like Pong and a few others, you see them moving in that direction once you hit the 70s. I really hope any of that made sense. If it didn't, please tell me in the comments below, and yeah, just make fun of me over that. Some other cool things about this book are just how he gets into like some of the foreign pinball games or pinball machines, and some of the like pachinko machines as well. It's awesome to see those things because they kind of get forgotten about when you talk about amusement machines. And they're important. They need to still be talked about, and it's cool to see that stuff in here. And then there's also the last two chapters, really. One goes over some of the other collectible memorabilia with pinball machines, with arcade games, that sort of thing. And that was the part where I was like, wow, maybe I should try to get a hold of some of this stuff, because it looks pretty awesome. There's a Burger Time paper hat in there where I kind of want that just a little bit, because I really love Burger Time. Then you get into like the buying guide as well, and that was not as interesting to me. I could see where somebody would like that sort of thing, but this is a book from 94. A lot of that stuff is probably going to be outdated by now. So anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up. Please let me know what you think in the comments below, and have a great day, everybody.